Hello Libra, this is a timeless, love variant reading of yours where we discuss however love may be absent or present in your life, or you may just be here because you caught a vibe and seeing whether or not anything within the storytelling time is yours. Please bear in mind a few things while we get ready for your reading, that I am a Master 7th, aka 7th, that reads these energies for you. Should you want to know who she is, what she's all about, her details can be found in the description box below. The other various links within the description box to help you navigate this channel and gain access to my sister channel, should you feel inclined to do so. For this reading might provide you universal justice if you hear in Libra being in your sun rising and or Jupiter position. However, anywhere else, that's where I will suggest you checking out my sister channel. The content of both channels are timeless for your viewing pleasures. Lastly, remember this is not a one-to-one reading. However, this is a general collective insight. Use your discernment to take all of that which belongs to you and leave the rest behind. All right, Libra. Let's get into your reading. I'm hearing that someone may be getting news, new news of, and it being chronic pain. So however long you've been dealing with the pain, you may be getting news that it's a chronic ailment, considering that I am an example of chronic ailment, I find it beneficial to remind people that there are various extreme versions of disease that can and have been found cures have been found. All right, just keep that in mind. There's a bit of a spiritual crisis happening. Feeling a bit unnerved. Anyway, we have the Ace of Cups, Hierophant, and the King of Cups. So I think your longing for relationships exceeds your own expectation. And that could be a problem when something exceeds your own expectation, because what I see is not being able to really measure up to yourself. You may be contingent on having a lot of responsibility towards expressing or critiquing other people's lives or their choices of responsibility or the things that you should be doing, or like overseeing, whether you're a management of some kind or just overseeing people, or in general have opinions about overseeing. Excuse me, that fucking fruit fly, man. Whenever that happens, I'm like, murder on the screen. It's terrible. It's terrible. I didn't get it though. There is an extreme version of your personality that you are afraid to entertain. Maybe that extreme aspect is, anger, temperament, attitude, betrayal. I'm feeling like you're on the receiving end of people and places and life's bullshit. Yet there is a form of character development that you don't entertain and you suppress it, and suppressing it, Libra, does you no good. It doesn't do you any good. It doesn't really matter if you have someone or not. It's those of you who have someone Mm, there's a bit of a sassiness that you disclose to your partner, but your partner is resistant and resilient and powerful, just like you, that can handle your outbursts. And that is a great thing because you need to also be able to express certain things. Not that I'm giving you a green light to accept every angry trigger that gets you triggered, or gets you, or to accept every trigger to be of anger, or accept triggers to result in anger. I'm not giving you the more or less the green light for that. I'm giving you the green light, however, to understand that the methods to feel the anger, the methods to accept that the anger has a time and place, is a step that you, for some reason, have a hard time in making room and time for. It gets in the way of some of the emotional transparency that some of you wish to have within relationships, because you go within saying that you have emotional transparency, yet then there's part of your everyday sharing, I don't know, or expressing, that is not 100%. And that has a lot to do with the fact that your ego decides to suppress a lot of your emotions because you feel that you need to in order to protect other people. But then at the same time, it's a double-edged sword because you suppress your emotion and then at the same time critique out loud to other people, and it being drama, that those people are certain people who are not paying attention to your growth, not giving you credit for credit is due, not sharing a compliment of to, or acknowledging your service or your act of stance or your presence even. Yet, why would you need someone to validate you or hold other people to that standard of needing to take themselves a bit more seriously and maybe, I don't know, do better when you don't do better? You don't do better. A lot of you kind of like have a very great control over the steering wheel of your life, and then you like dip and dodge in opportunistic moments where, hate to break it to you, a lot of people have more or less figured out how to be a chameleon in that aspect. It's called a hustle. Yet some of you hustle with people's relationships, and that includes your loyalty to that relationship. Whether or not you want to go in saying I'm a loyal motherfucker or not is completely not contingent on to the way the reality of the situation truly unfolds. Interesting. Anyway, in kind of like short ways to say there's manipulation that you do, Libra. Magician and Page of Pentacles. Do you mean to do harm? No, I don't see that. I don't see that there is maliciousness going into a thought to have maliciousness be the one to figure out how to fix it, and then also then desire malicious consequences. I don't see any of that. However, I see an acknowledgement that something's wrong, and you don't acknowledge that. Yet you're really good at trying to pick at everybody else's wrongness, but you don't fix your own wrongness. And that's hypocritical. It's hypocritical. It's not going to help you in the deep spiritual, emotional, enriching, revolutionary relationship that you want to have with another person, because you're not having it with yourself. Is this for every Libra? No, but I believe that the Libra who this isn't for isn't in this reading. The Libra who would be in this reading, who's gone through all that already, they're looking to step up. Step up by stepping to the side, stepping out of the world of misery and into a world of endless possibilities, because this Libra has absolutely nothing to lose anymore. But that's not the majority of the reading. The majority of the Libra attitude still feels like they're contingent on having to lose out on everything. They feel that they will miss out on things. And that's the excuse for kind of sweeping certain emotions, certain situations, certain topics, certain difficult truths under the rug, more or less, because, I mean, well, life tells you that you can ignore. So if you have the ability to ignore, why wouldn't you ignore? Because ignorance is bliss, right? So you're figuring that out slowly and surely for yourself, how that may not actually be conducive for you. It might not be healthy for you. It might be the ongoing problem that has a solution within it being a problem, a formula, let's call it that way, because maybe there are certain relationships that you've had in the contingency of time over and over and over again, that individuals that you care for deeply, or you think you care for deeply, end up not seeing you on that same level of interest, same level of loyalty and devotion. And you hate those type of people, yet it's not them, it is you. And it's not to say that they didn't mean to go out of their way to hurt you. I don't see that the decisions, again, were malicious. I don't see that their desire to choose for themselves went with a first-degree murder kind of perspective, is that they're out to get you, Libra. Is that you are fragile in certain maturity of certain emotions, and that life brings, for most inevitably, that certain people at least learn to play with, because they understand they can't ignore it, and you're like, no, I don't want to deal with it. And you not dealing with it makes you the odd one out. Some of you think that you've chosen healing, but you haven't chosen healing. Healing isn't about sitting in a certain pretzel pose position, saying it's not that. It helps you, it can assist you, but that's not what it is. Meditation is closing your eyes and being happy in that world. Four Swords with Five of Wands. So you are so afraid of closing your world. You're so afraid of looking someone possibly in the eye, making eye contact, and not be fueled with curiosity what's behind you. There's still fear. And this fear is coming from undisclosed situations that only you can bring disclosure to. You can only bring this kind of disclosure to yourself, and I fear that a majority are thinking that this disclosure can come in a gift to someone coming from the spiritual path and cross your path and give you what it is that you need. Again, I hate to break it to you, but a lot of time and places happen to be that way. Without you knowing that you needed it, you might be getting something of value. Without you knowing that you didn't need it, you might be removed of something of value. Life is too raw to not have a chance to see it from that perspective. And then it's ambiguous and mysterious enough to try to teach you at the same time that part of the mysticism is controlled by the narrative of free will. And free will to gaslight yourself and avoid certain topics is one of the ongoing tales as to why certain aspects of redundant patterns keep triggering you. Family is very important to you, so you're going to do your best to maintain some sort of relationship with you and your family, whatever that may mean for you, and whatever step it is for you to let go, make amends, reunite, reconcile with whomever family and whatever family means to you. And then there's a esoteric family. There's a family of human, and then there's a family of mysticism and ambiguity. You can call it ancestors, we call them saints, you can call it archangels, gods, deities, goddesses, whatever it is that you may want to call it. And those two need to unite. And it's up to you to kind of bring the harmony of how they could unite together. For that's you learning from both families at any given time and being welcomed for introducing both worlds to each other. That will only make sense for whomever that makes sense, okay? I know it's far reaching. Someone has healing powers. Someone was also around a healer, and there's a need to heal on your own, Libra. There's sadness coming through, and it's sadness based on betrayal and based on denial. Denial mostly before it is betrayal. It was denial of yourself, that you're understanding, and you were late when you should have been on time. There's a reading title that comes to mind that I believe belongs to you in your channel, in your playlist channel, on my in your playlist on my channel. Holy cannoli! That goes something like "You didn't move," and it's coming up. Are you not moving now? No, that's not it. Just, are you moving differently? Are you asking all the particles of your own personal dust bunnies to come out of the corners and be addressed for how beautiful they are, even though your ego and your personality hates that part about yourself? Can you learn to love it? All your personal dust bunnies, because there have been energies around you in the recent past that have pressed the limits of what it means for Libra to be authentic. If that's not a person, it's a place or a thing or a situation. And you've been inundated with that word. And I think you're learning how to challenge yourself with that word while gaining a massive sense of identity, which will prove authenticity. However, I don't see you being there just yet. I feel you're like 80% there. Alright. These readings have been very strange lately in this bubble. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space, and may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care, Libra.